We are simplifying radicals with variables. So we haven't talked about this yet, but we've done simplifying radicals. So for example, like square root of 18. And you've been breaking that apart to square root of 9 times the square root of 2. And the square root of 9 is 3 times the square root of 2, which you can't break that down. So you have 3 times the square root of 2. And that's your final answer. But today you're going to learn what to do with the variables. So if we have a problem like this, square root of 18 x squared. Well, what we want to do here is I would recommend splitting this apart. First look at square root of 18. Is that a perfect square? Is 18 a perfect square? No. So break that apart, still at square root of 9 times the square root of 2. But then break this apart. This is going to be x squared, the square root of x squared. Well, I want to remind you of something here, so I'm going to go on a tangent. But the square root of x squared, okay, act as if x was 6. I'm just pulling a number. So let's just say x equals 6. And we say x squared. Well, if that was the square root of 6 squared, that would be the square root of 36, which the square root of 36 is 6. So if you notice, what I just did is I just picked 6 out of the blue. I don't know, I just pulled it out of the air. And 6 squared is 36, but the square root of 36 is 6. So if you have the square root of 6 squared, it's going to be 6. It's like these two cancel each other out. It's actually like dividing. And so what's happening is, remember when we did fractional exponents? Remember when we did 6 to the 1/2 power? And you made that a radical and made it the square root. It's been a long time since we did this. But 6 to the 1/2 power, that's really what's happening with this radical sign. It's saying 6 squared times 1/2. And 2 times 1/2 is 1, so it makes it 6. So that's what's really doing, is it's canceling each other out because that radical sign is making it like 1/2. I know you might have got lost there. But what's going to happen here, now 9, square root of 9 is 3. Square root of 2, I can't simplify that. But then this one, this x, these cancel, so this is times x. I really should have kept that separate. So your final answer here is going to be 3x to the square root of 2. Okay, let's do another one. Again, it's one of those things you might not get right off the bat, but we can keep going. So let's do 16, square root of 16 x cubed y squared. So we're going to split that apart. We're going to do square root of 16, because square root 16 is a perfect square. Then we have the square root of x cubed times the square root of y squared. All right, so square root of 16 is 4, but right here, the square root of x cubed, this is really saying x cubed times 1/2. Well, that's going to be 3/2. So what I want you to do here, if that's an odd number, if your exponent's an odd number here with the square root, I want you to split that to x squared times the square root of x. Now, do you remember when we were doing exponents, when you multiply by the same base, what do you do with the exponent? You add. So when I split those two for 2 and 1, those add to 3. Then the square root of y squared is going to be y. Now here I can still evaluate the square root of x squared, which is x. Now this one I can't. Square root of x, I have to leave that. So it's going to be 4xy to the square root of x. It's going to be 4xy square root of x. I know you guys are, your head's spinning. All right, let's do another one. Let's just do 49x squared. Square root of 49 times the square root of x squared. Square root of 49 is 7. Now, since that's a 2, it's like you're dividing by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, so these cancel. So this is just going to be 7x. Okay, let's do another one. 27 x to the 5th, y. All of that, square root of that. Now, square root of 27, that's not a perfect square. Perfect cube, but not a perfect square. So 27, the largest perfect square is 9 times the square root of 3. Now this x to the 5th, I want to split that to where I want to have x squared. So what we're trying to do is saying, like the 2, so you're going to have x squared, square root here, another square root x squared, because 2, 4, I need one more x. These three together, x squared times x adds up to x to the 5th. Adds, you're really multiplying, but you can add the exponents. And then we have the square root of y. So, square root of 9 is 3. Square root of 3 I can't do, so I need that. X squared, square root of x squared is x. Square root of x squared is x. I need this x squared, or excuse me, the square root of x and the square root of y. So this is going to be square root of xy. So we have 3x squared square root of xy. Whew, that's a doozy. All right. I want you to really go back and watch this again. I know that's a lot. And I want you to keep practicing it though. But here's what you're going to be doing today. And it kind of helps you out to see if you have the right answer or not. You're going to be given this sheet, or I've already had it from the sub. You're going to simplify this expression. And the nice thing is you should end up with one of these expressions on the map. And it's on the back of yours. But it should be on the map. So at least you can tell if you're going to get in the right area. Then, this is kind of fun, cross-curricular. It's a little fun fact. Now, I did not vet these to make sure these were the facts. I'm going to trust that Awesome Things by Dr. James down here did the vetting, and I hope this is all true. But then, once you simplify that, you're going to find whatever that is. Actually, let's just do that one. Square root of 49x squared. Wait, did I do that one? I did. 7x. So you're going to find that 7x. Now, and you're going to list what state that is. Now, if you forgot which state that is, I have provided each table, I got to find it, a map, and you've got to look at which state that is. Okay, so that's Connecticut. So you're going to write Connecticut. And no, don't use the abbreviation. Write it out. Spelling's on here. So you're going to match that. So that is what you're going to do. I know this can be difficult, but slow down, take your time, ask questions. You don't have the time to just stop and say, I don't understand it, okay? So really make sure you're focused with it and trying it. All right, thank you, and I'll see you Monday.